So this is going to be my finished cross stitch but not fully finished object video. I have this tray here, not a huge tray. There's quite a bit of little things in here. I never really did big projects until recently. Everything was super quick. So I'm gonna start with these little kitties. So these little guys here, let me find the original one. This is the original one that came from a kit. And I don't know where the pattern is anymore. So I was going to make like every color of kitty you could think of. I got a gray one, orange one, light brown one, dark gray one, dark brown one. And then I was gonna try and make like other colors, like maybe calico or torty, and I got some of them facing different directions. I was gonna make a whole mural out of them, and somewhere I lost the pattern. It's a really simple pattern. I could probably redraw it myself, but that was one of those things I gave up on. I got Nemo. I love the Finding Nemo movie. He came from a kit. Unfortunately, they didn't really give you a big enough piece of fabric to do a whole lot with him except a small square frame. So eventually I have to figure something to do with him. I have all of these little things that have come with various kits that I obviously didn't use for whatever they were supposed to go in them. Here's another Nemo. He's got little beads on him as well. He was a kit, probably from Walmart. Most of the kits I used to get came from Walmart because my small town Walmart had a huge craft fabric section. Because at the time it was literally the only thing around. There was nowhere else to go. This right here is actually embroidery. And I have no idea why I did this or what this is. It's a weird satiny, like, woven. You can see all these threads. This is probably a picture from a coloring book that I drew on here. You can see on the back, I just drew it on there with a fabric marker. I love Hello Kitty, loved Hello Kitty for years. I'm just really not into her anymore. I don't know what I would do with this. This is just gonna stay in the box. This guy here is another pattern I took from either a clip art or a coloring book and just stitched him. He's more embroidery than cross stitch really. He's done in tent stitch. You can see on the back that Hello Kitty thing has just shed all over everything in this box. This guy is super cute. I might eventually frame him. He kind of has the same look that I usually have at work. Very, very grouchy. He might be cute hanging next to my desk. So there's a whole pile of little teeny kits. Here's an adorable little kitty. He probably came from Walmart once again. These kits were probably like $1 or $2. But he's a little tuxedo. My two favorite cats in the world that I've ever had have been tuxedos. This little guy, this probably goes in one of those little frames. Quite possibly this little green one, because that really seems like that would match. Really cute. Have this little bear. I think this was supposed to be stitched into something like a pillow, and that's why there's so much extra fabric. This is enough to do 2 of these. This was out of a book. I stitched it on, looks like some selvage here. And I think I was gonna make an ornament with it, but I stitched too close to the side, so now you really can't. I have a little bit of room over here to make a pillow, maybe. Another kitty. This one actually uses the little crummy little hanger thing. A moose. Moose is another one of my favorite animals, even though I grew up in the South and currently live in the far South. Christmas mouse. Apparently there was a theme. Walmart probably had a new display that year or something. Another kitty. Adorable little spring mouse. Snowman. I've never seen snow in my entire life, but snowman, cute. Embroidery project from a class I took. It has the batting. It's on muslin. Very cute little bird. I did a pretty decent job on the back. Not too bad. This is just a pattern. I don't know which way it goes. It's probably from a book. It's probably some heritage pattern that I appropriated or whatever you want to call it. The white on red looks really good though. Oh, another tiny one, ladybug, one of my favorite bugs. I tried to create like a little tie on the back to keep it closed. I didn't do a very good job, but it's on there. Here's a little blue jay or whatever that I embroidered on a napkin, I guess. I don't really know what this is. It doesn't feel like a napkin. It feels like a shop towel. Then my other favorite cartoon character is Garfield. So this is a napkin, but for some reason I used t-shirt material, like an old, like probably one of my dad's t-shirts that had a hole in the armpit or something, for the backing. But this is a napkin or a handkerchief. Once again, probably oh, this says Hobby Lobby on it, so this did not come from Walmart. So this is definitely a picture from a coloring book. I still have this coloring book. I think this is actually the cover. Garfield is a couple of months older than I am, but we were born the same year, so he's always been a favorite. I did this when my husband was a volunteer firefighter, and I volunteered also, but I wasn't a firefighter. I was just support. So I stayed out of the way. Never really did anything else with this. And you can see about halfway through here, I must have run out of this red and so just grabbed a red. And so the bottom and the top are two different colors. I don't have this pattern anymore either. It might be somewhere on my computer, but I didn't use it. At that time, I didn't know about, you know, leaving enough for framing, so I would guess this is enough to frame. I just had to find somebody that really knew how to frame cross stitch to be able to line it up right with my little pendants. This piece here was for a stitch along, which is why there's 12. You can see I marked it out on the back. Unfortunately, they're not all going in the same direction for some reason. I don't know what I was doing there, but this is a stitch along I did. So it's got just a bunch of cute little patterns. There might be enough room if I cut on the lines back here. I might be able to cut these up and just make them into something else. This is a kit from either Dollar Tree or Dollar General, and you can tell it's super cheap because you can't even tell what this is. It's a cat, but it's really hard to tell it's a cat. I know it was a kit. It's on really big fabric. It's got really cheap threads, and the back looks terrible because I don't care about the back. This was another kit. He is adorable. This is a better quality kit because this fabric is much stiffer. But unfortunately, it looks like I left it in the hoop for way too long because it's got some hoop lines on the front and the back, which really stinks, but I might be able to get a mat really close to the edge, and then you wouldn't even see all of this, but this guy's adorable. just sorting through here because there's another pile of stuff that all goes together. So Little Frog, this was probably a freebie from somebody at some point. I think I did a pretty decent job. I should have blended a little better. The water is very stripy. This fish was from a book that I don't think I have anymore. Once again, both of these, obviously I didn't leave enough room for framing. Didn't really have that concept. This is a cute blackwork pattern that I did just as a little practice. I love blackwork, I just haven't done a whole lot of it recently. Here's a blackwork flower that I did on a piece of fabric that I had already did an iron-on on. Another little tiny ornament size. My name with a headless cow. Then this I actually kind of modified on my own. I moved this portion over so I could put my cat at the time's name and then a picture of him. He's long deceased. He probably died in the very early 90s, if not late 80s. So I've had this piece for quite a while. It's very dirty. It was a kit, and the kit people didn't leave me enough to do a frame. But once again, I could probably get it framed by somebody that knew what they were doing. I'm almost scared to wash it because I put the picture on there, and this is an actual picture. Like, I waited, 3 days to get it back just to find out he was kind of blurry. Here's a goddess bookmark that I did. This is plastic canvas. She looks pretty good. The back is decent. If I was actually going to use it, I would probably glue some felt on the back and maybe trim it up a little closer. Another Star Christmas. I must have really loved this red fabric when I bought it because there's a couple more things that are on this same red fabric. So these two match. We have the upside down bird. So we have the partridge in the pear tree and we have the Christmas candle. These must have been kits because this one has some sparkle thread. I don't know if you could actually see the sparkle. I can see it on the back. But it looks like the little stars here are some sort of sparkle thread. It almost looks like Easter basket grass. It doesn't even look like thread. But so these two must have been kits. Maybe they actually came together. And there is plenty of room for framing on these. They'd be nice framed next to each other, I think. The last thing I have in this box is a grand plan that I had. I was into cross-stitching and quilting. So I bought one of those little packages, the yellow and white packages with the iron-on transfers, and they were cute cows. So I bought all the cows. I ironed them onto pieces of Aida. I bought the black and white Holstein cow print fabric to do in between the pieces. And then I had my eye on another fabric to do the back that was like a farm scene. This is as far as I got. I don't even know what happened to the cow fabric at this point. It's long gone. And some of these still need a little work. Like this one's completely done. She's outlined. She's all finished. This one is all finished, outlined. The other thing is they don't all go the same direction. This one needs some outlining. She's very 80s looking cow. This one needs outlining. I think my plan was to not outline them, but you can see since I never washed them, on some of them, the iron-on transfer has at this point stained the fabric, and you kind of can't tell really, like they have no definition because they haven't been outlined or backstitched, I guess. So these little guys are super cute. This little girl. This one, I don't know if I meant to include her with the rest of them or not, because she's just embroidery style. She's not really cross-stitched. This lady is what I would consider finished, because she's got some backstitch on her already. So that's all of that. Put all this up so I don't knock it off in the floor and make a huge mess. So the other thing I have is the project I started for my husband in 1999. Now it is it says artwork by Unicover Corporation 1998 by arrangement with Mill Pond Press. On the back it actually says dimensions right here. But then it also says Sunset. I'm not even sure if Dimensions is still making patterns under the Sunset name or kits. This thing is in bad shape. The corner right here where it's been folded, opened and folded, is actually a hole at this point. Here's my cute little threads sorter. This one actually came from Amazon. This is the little cardboard thread sorter it came with. At this point, I've thrown away everything that's not a backstitch color because the thread was in terrible shape from over the years living in this clear tote. Now this kit is called Gettysburg, and I know that upsets a lot of people, but I don't really care. At this point, I'm finishing this kit because I started it. It is now almost a running family joke that I'm gonna have to bury my husband with this thing with a pile of thread so he can finish it in the afterlife. If you look at the edges, I put masking tape on the edges to keep it from fraying, not knowing that that's a terrible idea. And then it has sat in this box with that same nasty masking tape on it for over 20 years. So when I took it out this time, I took the masking tape off. It's stained from the masking tape. It's also stained from me touching it over the years and from just sitting. I'm sure there's been bugs and all sorts of stuff on it. So this is what it looks like. So it is a North and South Civil War. All of the full stitches are done. The only thing I have left is the back stitching. I actually made a mistake at one point somewhere in here because I originally started at the top and I went down and I finished the flags. And then I finished this guy over here. He was completely finished except for some of this in the middle. Then I went over here and started stitching this guy from the top. And then realized that there was a mistake somewhere in here or here. So what I did is first I put it away. For years and years I put it away. But then I decided I would go down here to the bottom and count across and start from the bottom and go up. So I started from the bottom and went up, and then when I got in here, thankfully it was in this dark area here, across here, that I met up and I just added stitches where the counting didn't line up. So there's a few extra blue or extra black stitches in there, and there's a cat hair or dog hair like woven into it now. That's gonna drive me crazy. So there is a mistake, but you really can't tell. And I like it without the back stitching, but I think the back stitching will add a lot more detail, so that will get done soon. I have 2 stitch alongs I'm working on now. One of them is completed for everyone else, which is the cryptid stitch along that came out last year, and then just finished the beginning of this year. I have most of the frame done. I stopped. I didn't finish the last page of the frame in case I miscounted somewhere. Once I get all the frames in the middle, then I'll finish the bottom so that I don't run out of space. So I got the top and most of the sides done. I actually made a mistake. Where the moons are supposed to go, I put the little dots, so I'll go back and add the moons just on top of the dot. If you've seen the Cryptid Sal by the Witchy Stitcher, you know what I'm talking about. The other one I'm doing is the Overlook Hotel, King of Horror. It's a The Shining by Stephen King. That one's right behind me, actually. I haven't finished the frame yet. I finished this side. The other side will look exactly the same. This was room number 1. Room number 2 is out, but I wanted to get my frame done. All of this, all these little cupolas, and then the center part will get filled in. This middle part right here is double doors, but there is an optional picture of Jack, and so I'm going to put that in. Down here on the bottom is the stairs and then the 2 lions, but then there's also an option to add Mr. Hallegren. I think that's how you say his name. The old man. So I'm going to add him in once I get the whole outline done. I want to get this outline done, and then on this side here there's going to be hedges. So I'll get the hedges done, the outline done, and then probably finish up Gettysburg and then go back to the cryptids. This is driving me crazy, sorry. It will not stay up. Alright, so that is my finished projects. Oh, another finished project I have is the Golden Girls that you can see on my Instagram. That was a kit from Five Below. I think they still have it. I just put some Walmart fabric on the back just to finish it. And then I also have another Five Below kit. It's Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. And I'm going to use the same Hawaiian print fabric on the back of that one too. Alright, thank you for watching. I'm going to do another video about my homemade floss drop thing. And then I'll probably actually do one of me trying to put together my brand new frame. Not frame. My new stand for my frames. It has written directions, but it also has pictures, thankfully. So we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching.